They give the two
Yep.
generic passes.
You are
Yep.
now looking at a planning board of 5 active members. I mean,
You don't have to use
3
that.
in person
This is
tonight, but we'll take what we can
Okay.
get. Very
I
excited.
might as well just try to figure out, I was just about to log in, but it changed over to the camera.
Oh,
I don't know if
okay, that one.
I'm not familiar with Androids.
Yeah, I'm not either. Well, I mean, I'm not familiar with these.
Yeah, it seems like it's away. There we go.
And with our newest member getting his wonderful town-issued technology for the first time tonight, we are taking a moment for logins and everything to happen.
What do I got open? Anything? Anything? No. Okay. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason you have to use this.
Okay.
Right. Mr. Brennan doesn't, right? You
Yeah,
got your-
I download everything and put it onto my own laptop for notes because I like to use OneNote and scribble on all the site plans we get and everything. Is there anything you wanted to do before I call the meeting to order?
We're gonna have to do the pledge before or after.
Well, that would normally be before, so if you want to, I'm gonna want to get, it's 6:01, so we should
That
get
would
going.
normally be before? I did
Yeah.
it after last time, but.
No, I do it before because I have my reasons for not doing it during the meeting, but people want it, and you volunteered to run it before, and I think that's great. I have no problem with that. So I would like to call us to order if you want to do the pledge first.
All right, apparently we can't pledge during the meeting, so I'm going to start the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right. Ooh, lots of people in the house tonight. Exciting. Good evening, everyone, and we will call to order the the Lunenburg Planning Board meeting for Monday, June 10th, 2024, ostensibly at 6 p.m. It is currently 6:02 by my reckoning. We are in the beautiful upstairs town hall meeting room. If you are here or watching at home through Zoom, you should know that this meeting is being recorded and will be broadcast, or is being broadcast. In addition, if you are watching at home via Facebook or YouTube or whatever, or on television, and you want to participate, you can either drive on down to Town Hall, or you can log on via Zoom, and that log on is available on the agenda on the town website. And I believe that is everything we're required to tell you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
on the earlier agenda that's posted, 255 Sun Hill Road was right after reorganization.
And it got pulled when
When Annie updated the agenda with the correct Zoom link, it got
dropped.
dropped.
Okay, great.
So it was posted for tonight,
Yep.
then unposted.
Yeah, just so people know, we are, in addition to what you see on the agenda, a public hearing was on the agenda earlier. A revised edition doesn't have it, but a public hearing for 255 Sunny Hill Road was continued to tonight, and we will be handling that as well. Great. I believe that is all the kind of preamble we need, and so we'll open with public comment. And if I may, I would like to make some public comment and say, we have 5 active members on the planning board now. Mr. McLeod was elected at town election, and hooray, full board, very exciting. We do have one member participating online. Is Zoom up and running and recording now?
Not yet. Annie went to go try to resolve that with, I think it was Heidi, who was hosting it.
All right, we are going to, I've called us to order mayhaps slightly prematurely.
We get thumbs up.
Yep, but I do want to, because we have made a general policy of making sure our Zoom is up and running, I am going to pause us for 1 minute. Because I'm sitting here chatting with everyone, I look back there and see the not quite yet ready Zoom screen. But this way, everyone at home also gets to participate. So did you hear about the skeleton that walked into Bad Larry's? He ordered a pint of lager and a mop.
Oh, that's bad.
You thought that was bad. They dropped 2 sausages into one of the hot pans back in the kitchen. The first one said, "Sure, it's hot in here." And the second one said, "Oh my God, it's a talking sausage." My career in stand-up never really took off for some reason.
Don't know why.
Like I said, I'm just giving us a minute till Zoom's up and running.
Do we have?
And have you,
I'm waiting on being granted entry to this by someone else, and then they're going to transfer ownership of it over to me, but
Okay.
I don't think they're granting entry. I got this link from the revised agenda in the OneDrive that's supposed to have the correct working Zoom link, but I can't guarantee that it is the correct working Zoom link, so I may be in a waiting room with nobody.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
Waiting room.
because Annie gave the thumbs up saying we're good, but
Do you want me to, I can go find her and pursue that.
maybe, she gave a thumbs up and left. I don't know if that was Annie leaving, or... Yeah, maybe. Because
Yeah.
I know Zoom, but I don't know enough about the town's specific implementation.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go see if I can.
Would you
call.
be willing to pass your computer laterally in case it pops up while you're gone?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome, thank you.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Should be on.
All right, cool. That way, if this gets going, we can do that.
I just text her with the Zoom question mark.
Okay. Thank you, Richard.
She said that the wrong meeting got started. She's working on it, so I had that.
Okay, cool. Well, that's more seeing someone's screen, but not yours.
Looks like they'll admit me soon.
Okay.
Any more dad jokes?
I mean, now I'm feeling the pressure.
I have a general question on the agenda.
Yeah.
So we have 2 appointments for master planning steering
Yeah.
committee. Are they both members at large? I mean,
Yeah, these are both from member-at-large position, yes.
so I think, well, I don't know. I would like to have seen that, but I guess it's not that important. I mean, it's just typical. Because it's a 13-member group, right?
15, I think, but it was something like that.
We
yeah.
started 15, I don't know if it got down to 13.
Either way, yeah,
Sure. But they're both members at large.
yes.
How you doing over there? Good?
I'm doing-
Yeah.
Plugging along.
That's the agenda. It's
That's the
being
agenda.
scrolled.
It's the revised agenda.
Is the revised agenda. Cool.
If Dex is talking to us, I can't hear him.
Let me join it again.
There was only one Zoom link on the agenda. That's what I'm clicking on. That's what you're seeing.
Okay, yeah, that's the, that, to our understanding, we are using the revised agenda's Zoom link. It was said revised notice of meeting, and the revised is nice and highlighted and in red, and capital letters.
Are you able to read what it says up there? Because for me, it says waiting for host to start the meeting.
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's what that says there too?
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Sweet. Need to pick up some glasses.
I've hit that amazing point where my eyes are bad enough that if I correct for distance, I can no longer see in front of me. So now one eye is corrected for distance, the other isn't, and now I just can't see anything, and,
What if you use one at a time, or?
I mean, no. I could wear glasses and, have my,
First time in my life, I'm 20/20. I had cataract surgery in the left eye,
oh, nice.
and they cleaned up.
I mean, not
They-
nice, but,
2 years earlier, I had cataract on the right eye, and they cleaned that one up as well.
Yep.
And eye exam last Thursday, Friday, and they did eye test and said, read the letters. I read all of them, and she said, you can't tell this, but that was the very smallest one.
nice.
I never had even been able to guess.
Mm-hmm.
So,
If I were wearing glasses, I could have my,
but now I gotta wear glasses to read up close, but
yeah. That was where they said, well, we could just correct both eyes for distance, and then you could just put on reading glasses.
that's fine with me.
But these things mean that you're kind of always gonna have.
And what you do with that, you get a blue light blocking readers. That's what my eye doctor told me, said, the blue light from technology will cause dry eye.
Oh, you're not, yeah. And I think we are visible on TV, by the way, so if you were watching us at TV and on TV and wondering what's going on, we are waiting for the Zoom link to be figured out, and so we can really, we open the meeting, realize we don't have Zoom going yet, and we use Zoom to record as well, so,
Do we still use, excuse me, do we still use Zoom?
maybe we don't use it.
Because my understanding is it gets recorded from the booth.
Yeah, no, I take that back, yeah. No, you're correct. But we were waiting for the Zoom link, so members of the public who reasonably assumed Zoom would be available, because we gave them a link, can also chime in.
So I think we're currently live on channel 8. I think, yep, I heard, yes. So,
I'm a hipster and I don't have TV. Well, don't have cable TV.
I'm being told there was an issue with this link as well, the one that was in the document. So that's where we're at least for now.
Okay, so do we not have, so we have no version of Zoom that's been put out to the public?
That is what I would reasonably infer.
All right.
I don't know that for sure, but that is what it sounds like.
number 6.
The issue is we need to get, well, there's 3 of us here. We have quorum. I would turn to us and think out loud about what we want to do here. We are allowed to run the meeting without Zoom. That is not am I correct? Correct. Yeah. So we're allowed to do it. We have avoided in the past, in part because our other Zoom issues came with at the time of some very contentious decisions, and we knew that there were people who were watching from home who wanted to speak. I don't know that there is much tonight that is super contentious, and there is some business we need to really hit tonight.
There's a couple things. One, got someone from the Regional Planning Council here to speak on MBTA zoning. We have 680 Reservoir Road, which is looking
Yeah.
for a certificate of completion so they can complete a real estate transaction, not of 680 River, but another house. I got confused with this one. So I think, and then need to continue the 255 Sun Hill as well.
We can get the update, because we know that's just going to be...
And you need to take a vote to continue that to date time certain.
Yep,
If we don't open the meeting, we don't have to do that.
but, so we have guests here tonight from,
I understand.
yeah, so,
I understand.
You can open it and just say, these are the only items we're going to cover, and
I was gonna share my presentation on Zoom. So,
which isn't going to be possible.
Yep. Well, you know how I feel, so.
yeah, I'm guessing how you feel. I actually
I'm
don't...
really sick of this. In the performance of this town government is not impressive these days.
Yeah, I agree. So, Kara, I'll actually turn to you as, you're saying you don't have a way to present to us tonight without Zoom?
I can talk, you just won't be able to see my slides.
But I'm guessing you don't want to take your time to come back at another meeting, because that's time out of your busy life.
If that's the case, I will.
Okay.
And also, if I might,
Yep.
I don't think there will be a problem if you gave a presentation via Zoom without actually being here. Would that be an issue? I mean, you wouldn't have to come back, I guess.
Right, right.
I mean, it's
It'd be nice to
lovely.
be in person, but you don't have
I
to.
don't mind being in person, I live in Townsend, I'm coming from Leominster, it's no big deal.
Okay.
I really enjoy Karen's presentations, too.
Yeah.
I must say. I really enjoy them.
Turns out when people know what they're doing.
Hey! Things tend to work pretty good.
There are a few items I think we need to address tonight, and there's some non-controversial. I think it is worthwhile to do the minimum, to do the things we need to do to accommodate those who have come here, and otherwise put it off, just because otherwise specifically, I'd like to do both interviews for the Master Plan Steering Committee, assuming, do we have both candidates for the Master Plan Steering Committee? Yes, we do. I'd hate to make them come out again, if we can avoid it. Karen can't do her presentation. I would, we really we don't have to do the board reorg tonight.
No.
Okay.
What you probably want to do is I would just vote on the chair and put everything else off. So you know you got the chair.
Can we re-vote on chair the next time?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm cool with that. Just because I don't want it to deny our two other members.
There can always be a coup. I mean,
It's fair. Look, I am frail, so it's okay. Just one candlestick and we're good. And I'm also looking, and the town manager screening committee is going to be getting moving quickly. Or to my knowledge, so I think they need an answer now, not in 2 weeks, ideally.
That's just a committee appointment. There's one of the 5 members will be the.
Yes, I agree.
you need to do 255 Sun Hill Road
And
and 680 Reservoir Road. 321 Sun Hill Road, in my opinion, is not ready,
okay.
based upon the report from Graves you got today. I think it's-
I'd like us to hit the absolute minimum so we can address that. So I think that's what you just heard us talk about is what we're looking to address tonight as a way to kind of respect the fact that the public can't chime in from home. I would look for public feedback for those who are here if there's any concerns about what we've said. Seeing none, I'll ask for public feedback from home. Ha, 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 ha. Okay.
If I can ask one question, Karen, would June 24th work for you? We got it here, might as well. Day works.
If I may?
Yeah.
I'll just add what I said the last time, is that these public meetings and public hearings and public gatherings are for the general public, the 12,000 population of town. And it's not only an inconvenience for the 9 people in the room, it's also an inconvenience for the people up here, the people in the booth, the people who are staying in the office here. It's a very large inconvenience. I don't disagree with you, not to have the meeting. Not to have the meeting is a large inconvenience for a large group of people. The largest group of people are not here to have input on the inconvenience.
I agree with that 100%.
99?
No, I do. I guess what I want to say is,
Fine? Okay.
24th works?
Yeah.
Thank you. I am in full agreement, 100%. I am only looking at because this has happened enough, and there are some items here that are time sensitive, that are very time sensitive. And I think most of them, frankly, could be reversed or are expected to be low enough controversy. That those are I don't want to deal with everything. I just want to make sure that the business of the town can function. As we know, there's a lot of change happening in the town. A lot of new board chairs, new positions coming and going.
The business of the town is already quite dysfunctional.
Yes, I agree.
Anyways, I'm gonna hold my, I was actually gonna recommend that we push off reorganization until the next meeting when Amanda was here and Mr. Wilson was present.
Yeah. So I think we'll do a reorg just to vote for chair, with the full knowledge and intention that we will be doing that again at our next meeting. Is there a reason
Why don't you just vote and continue the chair in the same position until the next meeting?
I would be fine with that.
So moved. Wait a minute, you've already opened the meeting.
Yes.
It just wasn't on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Zoom. Yeah, no, the meeting's open. We can do things. So we're going to try to hit through, like we said, the absolute minimum. Okay, so for reorg, yep, we have a move and second for the chair to continue until the next meeting where we can have hopefully full membership and Zoom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. And I don't need to say all opposed if everyone says aye, right? No. Okay. I just noticed the select board does it anyway, and they start thinking, wait, am I doing it?
Oh, technically, I guess you're supposed to, but
I haven't been yelled at yet.
seems redundant to me.
Okay, I'll take that. Great. We have two appointments now, because Karen Chapman has been rescheduled to the 24th. We have an interview for the Master Plan Steering Committee, Ms. Sandria Harp. Please come on up. And I would first ask, if I said your name incorrectly, please correct me.
That is wonderful. It's Sandria. My friends call me Sandra. I answer to both.
Okay. Which do you prefer?
Either one, honestly.
Okay,
It's
yep.
no-
And Ms. Harp, could you share your name and address for the record as well?
Sure. My name is Sandria Harp. I live at 20 Pratt Street in Lunenburg, Massachusetts.
And you're before us tonight because you would like to fill one of the vacant seats on the Master Plan Steering Committee, correct?
That is correct.
Great. Would you, low key, but would you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the committee?
So I am a proud Lunenburg resident for the past 13 years. I run an Instagram account called Lunenburg Mama. So Lunenburg is basically one of the pillars of my personality. So I really have a deep sense of like responsibility of how Lunenburg is going to look in the next coming years. I have big thoughts about how I would want it to look. So instead of sitting on the sideline, just voicing my grievances to nobody who will really listen, I figured I come and be part of town government and try to steer in the way I think it should go.
With a pun built in, already wonderful. Great, thank you so much. Do we have questions from the board at all?
Thank you for coming forward and
Right.
volunteering.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it, wonderful, yeah. And so I would look for, with no questions, or is there any discussion?
I move that we appoint Sandria Harp to the Master Plan Steering Committee.
Second?
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, do we need to have a date? That's the full appointment for the duration of the steering committee, right?
I assume that'd be,
There's
yeah.
no
Okay.
expirations, right?
Because this isn't steering committee that's going to last 3 or 4 years, I assume.
They've got about
They should be done.
Yeah,
6-ish months,
I would hope so. I mean, it's,
yeah.
So no date certain, okay.
Yeah.
So.
since this isn't a standing committee that's going to last forever.
No, this has about 6-ish months left, and we'll talk later about, someday we have to, vaguely soon, we have to look at what the next steps would be an implementation committee or something else, but that would be a separate committee. All right, next up would be Ms. Emily Young. Also looking to fill a member-at-large position on the Master Plan Steering Committee. Ms. Young, thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily Young, 36 Florence Street. I don't have a lot of experience serving on any town committee, but I have lived in Lunenburg for about 17 years. I have 8 years of experience so far alongside my children in the public school system and how they navigate the school system and some of the budget crises we have faced recently. This past year, I was working with the SOS Lunenburg Parents Group to kind of encourage people to vote more and attend town meeting and town election, and we were successful. I'm a teacher of students with disabilities for the past 22 years and the mother of a 13-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter with a disability who's just finishing up her kindergarten year in the Lunenburg Public Schools. I've done my fair share of advocating for her needs since she was born, and especially this year as she began the public school setting. I feel confident in advocating for the needs of all the members of the community, but especially to make our town more accessible, to include those with disabilities as well. I'd love to have a voice in making our community as accessible as it can be for all members, and also to have a hand at helping to build our community to be the best that it can be.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions, or what questions do we have? Always better to phrase it that way, that's more likely to get a question out of people. What questions do we have for Ms. Young?
No questions.
No questions. I will just comment that she's vended at the farmer's market for how many years?
I think it was 3
3. And
until this year, yeah.
she's been a very regular, always attentive, on time, and
Thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Ms. Young.
Thank you.
Looking for any further discussion? Hearing none, I would look for a motion.
I move that we appoint Emily Young to the Master Plan Steering Committee.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's go to 255 Sun Hill Road.
Yep. I just want to take one more. I do want to say thank you very much to Ms. Young and Ms. Harp for stepping up and helping out the town. It's always that same 10 people problem, right? Yeah, people can only do so much, and many hands legit make lighter work. Thank you so much. Plus, a diversity of voices means we're more likely to get everyone represented, and the way you have that is having more people at the table. Great, and you were recommending we pop up to?
255 Sun Hill Road.
Yep, I have that.
Which is on the previous agenda that got replaced by today's agenda.
Yes, and that is a public hearing that was rescheduled to today.
Yes.
So we don't need to open it or anything, it's already open, so.
So Brian Marchetti here, McCarty Engineering. The 255 Sunny Hill project, we filed last August, started the presentations, and it was continued pending a resolution on Lot 4, which was down on Leominster Road. So the Sunny Hill lots and the Leominster Road lot were all tied to the same permit. So where we're at with that is, back in April, the Conservation Commission requested that we hire a third-party review consultant to come verify the wetland lines that were done by our consultant last year. It took a month and a half to basically get that under contract. Goddard Consulting came out, inspected the line, they had hung some other flags, and they provided a report to us last week. So the commission has yet to perform a site walk with us to review those lines. So we're close. We already redesigned the site once. We're just verifying the flags at this point before we can present the final plan. So we're hoping within a month from now to have a final resolution on that lot.
Well, thank you very much for the update. I would look for, I mean, this was just a general update, but I would look for comment from the board or questions from the board, and then I would go for public comment.
None for me.
Okay. Do we have, this is a public hearing, do we have any public comment in the room? Seeing none? All right. So it sounds like we need to continue this.
Yes.
And when are you looking for?
What are your next meetings?
We've got June 24th
Forget about
coming.
that one.
Yeah.
Yep, July 8th. And I have to call up my.
July 22nd.
I would say the July 8th.
July 8th?
We'll have a chance to meet with conservation before then.
Okay, great.
Will you be available that day, or?
I believe that is when I am available, yes. I'm just double checking my own calendar in case I was based on Yeah, no, I have to be in the White Mountains that morning, but I will be back by evening, so that's fine. My kid's going to like the coolest camp I've ever heard of. Good for him. All right, so looking for a motion to continue the public hearing to a date and time certain.
I move that we continue the, excuse me, the public hearing for 255 Sunny Hill Road to July 8th at 6:05.
Great.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll stay up here.
Yep. Okay. What else do we really need to do to,
680 Reservoir Road.
okay.
And I'll say that because they have a house they're trying to sell, not 680, but there's another one. Brian can explain it.
All right.
So, just as a disclosure, I live on Reservoir Road. I don't
Okay.
know if that creates an impact.
Do you have, in your estimation, if you have, in your estimation, a fiscal, like, tie-up in this somehow, then, what's that?
I do not.
Okay, great. Then there's no issue. Take it away.
All right, so Brian Marchetti, McCarty Engineering, here tonight on behalf of Dave and Lee Sarnoski, who are here with me tonight. They're the owners of 680 Reservoir Road. We came to the board a little over a year ago for the development of a single-family residence on a undeveloped lot. So with the location of this, if you're familiar with it, it's just behind the Little League field on Reservoir Road. We permitted a single-family house with a driveway. We did have wetland impacts, so we got it all permitted through conservation. And because of the square footage of impact, we were required to come to the planning board for a stormwater permit. The permit was designed, or the project was designed rather, to exceed both Lunenburg's bylaws, stormwater bylaw, and DEP's. The initial plan was done using kind of LiDAR topography. It was reviewed by Graves Engineering, third-party reviewed, and it was accepted. We got our permit. So the site's now built out. The applicant is trying to close this week on their house. They're selling a house in Lancaster, relocating to Lunenburg. So originally the closing was supposed to be today, but because of the way we're closing out all the stormwater permits now, we had to continue it or extend it. So we're hoping tonight to get a certificate of compliance on this property, so the building commissioner can check the final box. So they've already gotten every other approval they need for their certificate of occupancy. So we performed the as-built. It was forwarded to Graves Engineering, excuse me, last week. I did meet with Graves inspector on site last week and the DPW director. We did walk the site. They provided their letter, I believe, today, basically stating that they're in agreement with everything on the plan and it was built in substantial compliance with the plan. There were 2 deviations from what was originally approved. As I said before, the site was designed based on LiDAR topography, so it wasn't physical on-the-ground survey. So some of the grades were a little bit different. Because of that, initially there was a little impoundment of water up here on the north side of the site that we proposed a pipe just to convey that water back to the wetland on the south side of the site. But the way the actual grades were out there after we had real topography done, it wasn't the case. It just sheeted off to the sides. It's basically the house is up on top of a hill. So there was no need for that pipe, so that was omitted from the plan. And then originally we had proposed 1 dry well for the entire rooftop. So all the roof gutters would be piped to one area. This entire site is a mound of sand, so it's exceptionally well draining. So what we did is there are 5 locations where the roof leaders daylight. All those locations were piped directly to a dry well right by the roof leader. So we still provided and exceeded the volume that's required by our bylaws and by DEP. So the roof leader all does go to dry wells. It just isn't shown to one dry well system location like it was in the originally approved plan. We provided here on the table, on the side here, volume calculations to justify and show that we exceed what's required by your regulations. Graves has reviewed it and agreed with it. So those are the only 2 deviations from the plan for the stormwater. There were a couple changes on site. We originally had proposed a detached 2-car garage in addition to the house. The applicant decided not to build that. And the driveway configuration up at the house is a little bit different, but it's less impervious. It's about 2,000 square feet less impervious than what we had originally proposed. So it's a decrease in pavement and rooftop than what was originally on the plan. These rain gardens, if you saw the pictures in their report, they're bigger and provide more volume than what was required by the design. And if you're driven by, of all the rain gardens we have proposed in this town that the builders have been building, these by far exceed the quality and size of all that have been built in this town. Even the vegetation, the tree species, the shrub species, they're very mature, they're much bigger, they're not small sticks that most builders tend to install because of price. Again, we're working directly here for the homeowner. We're not going through a builder. They built the house themselves. So it's kind of a different situation than what we typically run into with these stormwater permits and subdivisions. So So the as-built here, we provided to the town and Graves. It's been stamped, and we do have a letter back from Graves saying that the plan meets what was designed. So we're hoping tonight to get the board to sign off on the as-built.
Great, thank you. I'm actually going to pause us for 1 second because I realize I should turn and say, hey, Mr. McLeod, you haven't sat for any of these before. For a certificate of completion, what we're doing is basically we are looking, in this case, at a stormwater system. Stormwater permits need to be pulled in Lunenburg when disturbance is ever greater than, basically greater than 1 acre, disturbance of the land. And we are looking for confirmation from our consultant engineer that things have been built correctly, because if a stormwater system isn't built correctly, it can't do its job.
Even when it is sometimes.
What's that?
Even when it is sometimes.
I think that's also a very good point. Which is why I love hearing words like larger than typical builder-size plants.
And this site is sand.
Yeah.
So even without the rain gardens, even without the roof leader system, all the runoff that's been discharging right to grade disappears right away. So if there's ever a site, we're not going to see any issues. This is certainly one of them.
So everything you've said tonight is reflected in Graves' letter to us as well.
Yep.
The question I have is, overall, if I'm looking at overall site conditions, last sentence of that paragraph, overall, the site needs to be stabilized with vegetative growth. And I'm guessing I'm assuming that's the thing where the plants have to mature and stabilize and...
It's outside the rain gardens, and it's just the general site needs, I assume you've loamed it, but it just
The
has...
majority of the site's covered in loam.
Yeah.
So it's been loamed, it hasn't been hydroseeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
And, all right. Great. So our options would include to say everything's great. Our options would include to,
Authorizing you to sign off on the building permit, on the occupancy permit, but require them to put up a performance guarantee. You want to cover the vegetative growth issue. That's, or I guess that's basically your options.
yeah.
There's no reason to say that the rain gardens aren't done, the piece, and all that's done. It's,
So,
and this is different from all the others we've had, that this is the homeowners as opposed to a developer selling the
so we
lot.
typically have a developer put forward a performance guarantee, in part so we know the project will get finished once they sell it, and that everything will be hunky, because you could go hydroseed, do everything great right now, and we could suddenly be hit with a 3-month drought and that could impact the site.
If I could.
Please.
So what's a little bit different about this one as well is we have an order of conditions on the whole property. So we can't get our certificate of
Concom.
compliance from conservation until we have full stabilization, until the vegetation lives 3 growing seasons. So you still have a mechanism to hold them accountable for what has to be done on the property before they can get their certificate of compliance from conservation. So this is a different situation than
Yeah.
we typically come through here with a builder.
Great, thank you for calling.
Originally, why in our letter, we requested that we don't require them to bond it,
Yeah.
because they're still held accountable.
And I
We
just
just
note,
need this permit for occupancy.
and I would just note that being a homeowner, the last thing they want to have is their site not stable.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one thing if it was a developer, all they want to do is be able to sell it and move on.
And we've
These
run
folks,
into that.
these folks are going to look out the window every day when there's bare ground. They're going to be wanting the grass to come up. Although he or she may not want to mow it.
Excuse me, I have a question.
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but my recollection was when we first heard the presentation for this, it was 2 gentlemen proposing the project. is the ownership changed, or
No.
is that the developers? or-
Nope, it was always Dave Sarnowski,
Okay,
Dave and Lee. Yep.
Great, okay,
I love being wrong.
yeah. Some of us specialize in that, as a matter of fact, so there we go.
Depends on who you ask.
All right, so I would look to the board. What do we want to do here? Or one, do we have questions? Two, if we don't have further questions, what do we want to do here? We can, I mean, really our options seem to be, from Mr. Harris's read, sign off and say good job and accept that there is another mechanism in place to ensure that the homeowners do, that the plants and everything do actually stabilize as they're supposed to. Also with the understanding that it's not the only reason, but one of the reasons we have the performance guarantee, or the money that could be put in, is to protect the homeowner in the event that things aren't stabilizing correctly. They're not going to be held on the hook. That said, it is something we can legally require, and I think there could be an argument made to require it. So I'd look to the board and see, what do we want to do?
I'll just note that I looked at the decision and the application, and they originally were in the name David and Leah
Okay, great.
Great.
Sarnowski.
Backing up that I'm wrong.
From my standpoint, a novice standpoint, I like what I heard for option A, particularly where there are the protections built in as well as it is the actual homeowner.
What do you think, Mr. Ellison?
I totally agree, and I do consider this to be a different circumstance when it is the homeowner versus the developer. I would not be interested in requesting a bond of any sort, but I would like to mention that the bond is not only for the potential homeowner, but it is also for the existing abutters.
That's a very good point. My explanation was absolutely the short version that left out some key points, so thank you.
Sure.
But it sounds like we are leaning more towards option A. Do I understand that correctly?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
So you originally proposed one dry well,
Yes.
and it was cheaper to install 5 than just pipe them together?
Yeah, so one dry well was proposed here on the northern end of the house, and it's easier and cheaper to basically right where the gutter comes out of the ground.
Sure.
They pipe it into a trench, and we changed our design from a Storm Tech system, the chambers, to just a stone envelope wrapped in filter fabric.
There you go.
So it's a lot easier and cheaper to install, so we did change the detail. I provided that on the as-built, so you saw what was installed there.
Great. I would like to go on public record saying that I am extremely jealous of the applicant's drainage on their property, and having 8 inches of clay-like soil over ledge. Golly, I wish I had drainage like that.
And I'll also say, I was skeptical of it at first, but seeing the ponding that was there when they first started construction, I've kept my eye on it, and I haven't seen the ponding since. So, and also, I want to welcome you guys to Lunenburg, and you have a beautiful home.
All right, I would look for, I'm calling up the right note sheet now. There we go. I would look for a motion about, what is the correct verb? To endorse, to approve,
To approve a certificate of completion
I would look,
for a permit.
I would look for a motion, potentially to approve the certificate of completion for the stormwater permit for 680 Reservoir Road.
So, you want to do it?
Do
I
it.
was going to say.
Do it, come on.
So moved.
There you go. Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. Welcome to Lunenburg, my friends.
Richard, do we need anything, or do you just notify
I'll
the
send a
building
letter out.
commissioner? Is it like tomorrow, or is it,
I can try, when's your closing?
it was today? It was supposed to be today.
Yeah,
so
but when
it's
did
gonna
you
be-
push it off to?
Yeah, later this week.
Okay, I know you got, I'll try to send it out tomorrow.
Okay.
The main thing you want is the final occupancy. So I'll
Every other box has been checked.
I'll go on the OpenGov and sign off on that basement board's action tonight.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Great, thank you. And I believe that is all we really need to do
Let me just mention to you about the 321 Sun Hill
Yep.
Road. You have a copy of the final inspection in the sheriff file. And the reason I said that's not ready tonight is if you look at the report on 321 Sun Hill Road, they said that the, on the rain garden, the vegetation growth has begun and covers the upgrading area. However, the area is recently disturbed during the remediation process were temporarily stabilized with straw. Efforts are underway. The west side swell was rerouted to sediment and has started to erode and needs to be fully stabilized. So there's work needs to be done on rain gardens.
All right.
Additionally, apparently it's supposed to put 2 to 3 inches of mulch. And they put like a couple of feet of mulch according to Graves. They basically dug through the mulch, see how deep it was, and I believe it says a couple of feet, and so they need to remove some of the mulch because otherwise the vegetation is never going to come through.
I feel like the name of 2 to 3 feet of mulch is a compost pile. But,
It said was intended to be 2 to 3 inches thick. It ranged from 1 to 2 feet thick, and he's got pictures of it. So those basically reasons I don't think it's appropriate to consider the certificate of completion tonight. And I forwarded this to the developer and the applicant and their contractor so they can respond.
all right. I'm comfortable just not diving into it further this evening, if we all are.
If we didn't open it, we don't have to continue it, right?
Oh, we don't have to open it, it's a certificate of completion, so.
It's not a hearing, it's just...
Yeah. This is just looking and deciding if it's,
And I will note, based on the last board meeting's vote, they did put up a performance guarantee covers 317 and 321.
Of how
Great.
much? Of how much?
Was it 12.5 or 15,000?
I think we did, I think we
They said
split the
12.5.
difference at 12.5.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did put that up as passbook with a performance guarantee attached
All
to it.
right, thank you. Now, we do need, the other thing would be, under board discussions that needs to be timely, would be the town manager screening committee. Let me find that email quickly. So, the now chair of the select board, Mr. Nuzzello, sent me an email, basically saying, hey, the planning board would normally, that with the town manager putting in a resignation, the planning board would put a member on the town manager screening committee. And I got a quick summary from Mr. Nuzzello. The town moderator will call and chair the meetings of the screening committee. He plans on holding the first one sometime before the beginning of July. They have set a process initially, they will have to set a process initially, and then meet to review all applications as they come in. They will then submit a list of screened applicants to the select board. It's hard to gauge exactly what the time commitment looks like on this yet, because that is like how frequently and how the town moderator wants to run that committee as the chair. As long as, how long does it take to get a good list of candidates, et cetera, et cetera.
I can add to that if you...
Please?
So I was on the previous screening committee for the outgoing town manager, and so it's one member from planning, one member from finance, one member from select board, and town moderator, and I believe it's a member at large. And so my understanding is that August is the day that she's not going to be here, and that there will be an interim town manager appointed, I believe. So I I don't honestly recall how long the screening committee went on for, but it was a fairly extended period of time. We had the interim town manager, I believe, was here for close to 6 months, if not more,
That'd be reasonable.
during that process. And from my understanding, that's not unusual.
No.
And given the current situation with applicants and whatnot, it may be longer. But that's just, and that's my experience from previous committee.
I'll just note that given the length it's taken to try to find the land use director, and given the number of openings of different advanced jobs in the state, yeah, 6 months would be optimistic, I think.
Yes.
I don't know, you may know, I don't know if there is the same shortage of individuals with the proper skill set for the town manager role that there, because I know for certified planners, there's an actual shortage.
It's still a hard
Fair enough.
thing to fill.
All right,
Of course, I don't know what they're offering town manager here, but
yeah. And like I said, they're looking to hold the first one sometime before the beginning of July. And so they were really hoping that tonight we could get someone on that committee.
I have an additional question.
Yes.
So the outgoing town manager is the first town manager that we had. Previous to that, we had a CAFO. A CAFO, Chief Administrative Financial Officer.
Yep.
That was Kerry. And I guess I'm wondering, first of all, who and how was the decision made to go from CAFO to town manager? And then, depending on the answer, regardless of the answer to that question, the next question I would have is there an interest, and what would be the process to make a decision on CAFO versus town manager?
I think, I could be incorrect. I believe that role is defined in the town charter. And so that would be that decision would have been made when the town charter was updated, and would be made again with a town charter update. I think.
That
That'd
sounds
be
plausible.
Like, that's my understanding.
That's typically what it'd be.
Yeah.
Typically, the chief administrative officer is spelled out in your town charter, or special act of the legislature, something like that, yeah.
So the suspicion is that the charter was revised to change CAFO to town manager before the hiring of a town manager?
Typically, it should have been, yes.
Okay, so then we're behind the 8 ball for that to be possible. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, are any of us looking for this role? I'm perfectly willing and would be happy to serve on this committee, but I think there may be others who are interested as well. I don't know.
I would certainly defer as the new guy. I don't think it would be an appropriate position for me.
I understand that logic on this one. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I think that I would not be a good candidate because the previous town manager was high on my list and I was not impressed with her performance.
I am happy we would do this with a normal nomination procedure, or do we need that? How do you do? Because this isn't like one of the other.
No, it's like, who wants to serve? And if more than one person serves, then got an issue. But if only one person wants to serve, then you just nominate them, and
I am happy I'm happy for us to put me forward, and then when we have a full board present, if there is a strong feeling contrary, I don't know that anyone can say boo if we change or we put on the committee, but that way we have representation in the committee from the get-go.
I like that.
And if I can just go back a little bit, looking at your town charter, apparently it was amended in August 20th, 2020 by the Chapter 167 Acts of 2020 regarding the town manager.
We had a review committee.
Yeah, so apparently either you had a town manager position before then, or you revised it and...
Oh, I strongly recall the previous CAFO telling us she wrote a very eloquent letter explaining the differences, and I guess I'll leave it at that.
So we'll just make it official with a vote so we know it's a decision. I would look for a motion so we can vote.
I move to appoint Mr. Matthew Brenner to the Town Manager Screening Committee.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Great. And we will do a full reorg next time. And I think that is everything. Outdoor dining policy will have to wait because, yeah. And I don't think that's the same level. So I think that is everything for tonight. We'll hold off on committee reports and everything else till people at home can watch even better, and yeah.
So then, as far as the appointed residents at large, when do we...
So I will repeat the question. Ms. Sandria Harp asked, so for us newly appointed Master Plan Steering Committee people, what happens? We tell the town clerk, and you're going to tell me if I say this wrong, either of you. We tell the town clerk that you're up. You'll go down to you will then go down to her office downstairs, and she will swear you in, and you'll get your town email and be put in the town email, and Josie, the chair, Ms. Gilchrist, will presumably reach out and get you up to date on the meetings.
Okay, do we get sworn in today?
No, because the town clerk, I'm assuming, is not here at 7 at night. So
Will she contact us?
when I was elected to the board, that's what happened. Did she reach out to you when you were, well, this elected, and I don't even know if it ever happens with the
If I were
process.
you, I'd just email the town clerk and say, hey, I got appointed, what next step do I need to do?
Okay.
That's my approach.
I would recommend you give it like a week or so, and then you can just walk right in, and anybody in the clerk's office, doesn't have to be the clerk, could be the assistant clerk. The papers should be ready for you to just, you're gonna have to get sworn in and just sign your name.
Yep. Great, thank you, and I wish we'd answered that for you earlier, so you didn't have to stay longer, but thank you so much.
Thank both of you.
Thank you.
And signing of the performance guarantee, just wait till the next meeting, or?
I think we don't have
No.
people here, so I'm fine with that. All right. I think that is all they wrote for tonight. If you're watching at home, thank you for joining us. We're sorry that you couldn't log in via Zoom. I am going to go on to public comment, and with no public, we can go on to board comment concerns. I would like to make a couple comments quickly. The frustrating one is, I guess I want to be overt, that I've been kind of polite about it tonight. I share Mr. Allison's supreme frustration over the state of Zoom in this town. It has messed up this board many times, and the thing is, I don't really care if it's messing up my life. It's messing up the business of the town. There are people at home watching me speak right now who really wanted to be able to talk on Zoom or have the option.
There's another member as well.
Yep, there is a member who could not attend tonight physically, but could call in by Zoom, but couldn't. That can affect quorum. That can affect, really, our ability to do our business. If there weren't homeowners really looking to move into our town who had done everything right, if there weren't super pressing business, I wouldn't have wanted us to meet tonight, because I think it is unfair to the town in an era where we have said, hey, here's Zoom. Now, look, we can do the thing where we go, and I catch myself doing this. Well, we do say that Zoom is optional, and if it doesn't happen, the meeting will still if it doesn't work, the meeting will still happen. I know we say that, but can we be frank for a moment? That's not reality, because people sitting at home still count on it. People sitting at home aren't saying, oh, well, I understand that they said it might not work. That is bull cookies. And it is inappropriate. It isn't good for this town. It isn't good for the business of this town. I don't know enough to know where to look and say this is where fault lies, and I'm not looking to cast blame. I'm looking for it to get better. And I try to be charitable, and I try to be the voice of kindness, but the smile might lead you to believe that I am complacent, and I am, in fact, angry. I think it's inappropriate, and all of you watching at home on the YouTube link later, because you couldn't do Zoom, and all of you who can't watch at home, because you've already set this time aside now.
You don't have cable.
Yeah. You can't. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to any of us. Waste my time, I'll deal. Waste everyone's time, that's a problem. And it's not just time, it's money, it's the environment, when things like stormwater permits can't happen. It's all sorts of issues. It's our reputation as a town. And if we can't handle Zoom, why do we expect people to trust us handling other aspects of their lives? On a happy note, I would like to, well, I already mentioned Mr. McLeod, who is up here as our new board member, but he is not the only brand-new smiling face up here. Logan, you are our new administrative assistant. And to my understanding, you're a good old townie as well.
I am, yep. I would say born and raised, but was technically born in Leominster, but yeah, raised here all my life. Been a fun time.
I was unaware that you were born in Leominster. That is unfortunate, and I think we'll have to, no offense meant to my old colleagues at Leominster High School. I think you're all wonderful. Great. Logan, thank you so much for applying and taking the position, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Great. And
Thank both of you.
Yep. Thank you to both. Again, many hands make light work. There remain positions open in town on boards, on committees. There are, every year there are new elected positions open, and at any given point, there are committees. You could go down and fill out the volunteer form and really volunteer your services to a committee that aligns with your skill set. And that would be wonderful.
If I might add?
Yeah, please.
There doesn't have to be a vacancy for you to submit interest, by the way. If there is a full group of people that are meeting in a capacity that you would like to be part of, you can submit your interest officially to the executive administrator for the select board, and you can go to meetings as a member of the public. And almost every meeting that I know of, allows for public comment. So you can certainly participate that way as well.
And just while we're on it, as a reminder, because we've had people at planning board meetings recently, and I always love that, we're fairly chill here, and we look for public comment. There are times we're required to say, and now it is time for public comment. However, we enjoy public comment. We want it. It doesn't have to be a public hearing. It doesn't have to be that moment on our agenda that says public comment. Now, we do have those because having those kinds of controls in place are beneficial for times things get contentious, but for the most part, it's very easy to come down shoot your hand up that you have something to say, and you're likely to get called on anyway, because we are here as emissaries, we're elected officials and emissaries to the public and represent you. We represent the government to you, and we represent you to the government. So, make your voice heard. Come on down. As always, by the way, planlunenburg.org, follow the master plan process. Fill out those surveys. Survey number 3 will be coming out in the coming weeks as we keep narrowing down. That master plan process wraps this fall. You still have plenty of time, if you do it, to get your voice heard, but you have to get your voice heard. Do the survey, show up at public meetings. Any other board comment?
We're from the government, we're here to help.
Sometimes it really does work out okay. Sometimes. All right. That said, the only thing left on the agenda is adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Bang-a-rang. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lunenburg. Abbreviated meeting tonight. I hope to see you all in your smiling faces on Zoom as well in 2 weeks. Have a great time, everybody. Good night.